This NFL Picks Week 1 edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is brought to you by the SGPN Free Roll Football Contest. Join our free season-long NFL Pick'em for a chance to win $3,000 and a Super Bowl autographed SGP helmet. Sign up at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/contest. We're also brought to you by Game Time. Snag the tickets without the stress. Use promo code SGPN in your first purchase to save $20. Download the Game Time app and use promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Play the Underdog Pick'em in college or NFL and win up to 20x in one game. Use promo code SGPN at Underdog Fantasy for a 100% deposit bonus up to $100. We're also brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the app now. Use code SGP. New customers can score $200 in bonus bets instantly when they bet just $5 on any NFL bet, only on the DraftKings Sportsbook with code SGP. Finally, we're brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets, the sports betting research platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit HOFBets.com. Use code SGPN to get 50% off your first month and start making smarter bets today. Welcome, everyone, to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, second the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
Dog. We agreed. Real swole Kramer. You saw those push-ups, getting some stretch in, making sure the hammies are loose, not like Cooper Kupp, not like Jerry Jeudy. I'm ready. I'm fit.
You are ready. You are fit. If you are not watching live, youtube.com/sportsgamblingpodcast for the pre-roll section of the Ryan, I love it. You're encouraging people to check out the pre-roll so they don't miss all the awesome stuff we got going on here. And Kramer was doing some push-ups, doing some stretching, getting the quads ready to go.
Oh, it's the hamstrings. Quads are on the front.
All right.
Like the hamstrings.
Well, I was busy reading the pre-rolls. I didn't have like a microscope keeping an eye on which thigh muscles you were stretching out of.
There will be Easter eggs at every future show, I think, at the Blue Wire studio.
Yes.
Force people to watch. While Sean reads the pre-rolls, what will I be doing?
Little bonus nuggets. Speaking of bonus, youtube.com/sportsgamingpodcast. Get in there, smash the subscribe button as always. And the free roll football contest is back, better than ever. We're giving away up to $3,000. Again, $1,000 to first, $500 to second. The prize is double if you're a Patreon. And if you're a Patreon member and you win it all, you get the autographed Sports Gambling Podcast helmet with Bill Romanowski, LeGarrette Blount, Eric Metcalf.
The one that's on our set most of the time.
Pac-Man Jones.
Yes, sir. It's pretty sexy.
Yes.
I'm going to miss it.
I will. Well, hopefully one of the Patreon members win it. SportsGamblingPodcast.com/contest, SportsGamblingPodcast.com/contest. Ryan, of course, we're going to be picking every NFL game against the spread like we did all the way back in 2011 in a garage in Burbank.
It might have been a bedroom.
Yeah, it might have been. It was probably a bedroom. There were some bedroom days, and then eventually made it to a single-car garage, two-car garage.
That's how you know you're making it. You got room that isn't your bedroom to record a podcast.
Exactly. We didn't even we've been out here in Vegas now going on a full day 2 here. We did not even get into the incident we had flying out here on Southwest. Great airline majority of the time. This was not Southwest's fault.
It wasn't a diarrhea incident. Before you tune out, but no one took a shit all over the plane.
That is a
the
disgusting
fact
act.
that we have the video of that. And we've gone too far as a society. All right, make the news about diarrhea plane. I don't need to actually see the video from diarrhea plane. Not as exciting, but we checked a bag, of course, because Colby doesn't own a bag that the only luggage he owns has to be checked. Kramer pulls a wild card. He's checking his bag. So if two of the
I got
three
a lot
people,
of jackets, Sean.
Two of the three people are checking bags. All right, then I got to check a bag, even though my bag easily fits above it.
Hold on. Worth pointing out, Sean is very opposed to the idea of checking bags, very inefficient.
Well, for a trip to Burbank, you don't need it. But, all right, the bag's free on Southwest. Check the bag. And then we get there. Kramer and Colby immediately grab their bags, and I'm just sitting there. And I keep seeing this bag that looks like my bag, but I check the tag. It's not my bag. Waiting. I go to Southwest. They're like, oh, your bag arrived here. They unloaded it. I'm like, well, the bag's not there. Then Kramer talks to the baggage people. They go, maybe this lady's bag was taken by mistake. And they get all, and then turns out.
Oh, they got upset with me. Sir,
hands off the bag.
I go, there's a phone number on that tag. If you could give it to me, I'll text the person. Pretty sure there's a sir, we will not give you that information. Oh, okay.
And then the lady had driven off with my bag. So inside there was my microphone, my blackjack shoe, which I brought a blackjack shoe to Las Vegas.
No
you
need
should
to
bring
explain.
sand to the beach, but we have some bits planned for the Beeson show.
I just wish.
And my blackjack shoe broke.
I wish she made it back to the room, opens the bag, and says,
I was like, wait, what the kind of weird shit's going on
These
here?
are my stilettos.
Guys packing a black. Yeah, all she has is Eagles jerseys and a blackjack shoe. I would love if she all right, hey, I'm out here for a bachelorette party. She's just rocking around in a Jalen Hurts jersey.
Rare breed,
untamed. It would be an honor for her or any woman to rock a Jalen Hurts jersey. All right, let's get into it, Kramer. We're going to pick every.
Oh, you're not going to get to the point where you get to tout?
What's that?
Well, what happens when you win a big bet? You tout.
Oh, you're talking. Oh, my voucher I scored from Southwest. $150 credit from Southwest. Shout out to me. Ultimate negotiator.
That's better than Sean hitting the Colorado-Wyoming parlay. He was equally happy. He comes out, which, if you don't know Sean personally, the idea that he was forced to check a bag, we basically at gunpoint forced him to check a bag, and then his bag was missing. He comes out of the room, which took a while to figure it out, clearly was upset, and he goes, at least I got a voucher for $150.
Come on.
It was a good moment.
It was the first of many wins to come in Las Vegas.
And she owes you a beer still. So.
Yeah, she said she was going to get me a beer, so I got to track down this random lady and have some cocktails with her. Speaking of bonus, DraftKings.com. Download the app. Use the promo code SGP. $200 in bonus bets instantly. We just wrapped up Week 2 college football picks. Gave out a number of our locks. We're about to give out our favorite NFL bets against the spread Week 1. Ryan, this is like the presents have been under the tree for like 8 months now. Basically, since the schedule dropped, I've been staring at this NFL Week 1, hammering a bunch of bets over on DraftKings. Download now. Use code SGP to sign up. New customers can take home $200 in bonus bets instantly. All you got to do, bet $5. Use that promo code SGP. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Let's get to it.
Oh, there was a nice couple that just walked by, and they probably would love to hear about the 65-1 Tyler Algier lead the NFC South in rushing yards that we gave out on DraftKings. I mean, again, beautiful market. Yeah, there he goes. Tyler Algier, 65-1, baby.
Guy with the mustache gave you a thumbs up. There's a world, Ryan, where...
But the presents are unwrapped. Your analogy is great, or metaphor, whatever the fuck it is. It's great. Unfortunately, they were unwrapped. You had to stare at them, and you already knew they were awesome.
That's what it was.
And you knew
you couldn't play with them.
Imagine it was just stacks of cash, and you didn't have to worry about a bad gift. It was just stacks of cash, and you could stare at it. You couldn't touch it. That's what NFL Week 1 is. You ready?
It really was great. I'm right. I'm just one more last talk of our preseason future bets. Still time to get all the 32 NFL team previews.
We have some fans out here. Let's make sure we address the beautiful people outside.
Wave to our awesome fans out there. They're probably getting in on the Kenny Gainwell 200-1 to lead the NFC in rushing yards. And there will be, depending on how the Commanders Cardinals game goes, if he gets off to a good start, he could be the early leader.
I think she's saying we call them Redskins, not Commanders. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe I'm losing the crowd with my Redskins material. Apologies.
You scared them off, Ryan.
All right. Are we ready to talk football?
Let's go.
All right. Worth noting that the off-season take season is officially ending. Some of us have also drafted over 250,000 fantasy football teams this year. I'm workshopping that. How does that sound? 250,000? It sounds like more than 250.
Yeah.
I've drafted over 250,000 fantasy football teams this offseason, and all I learned is I love the Giants this year. So if you wanna watch me either have the highest of highs or lowest of lows, this is going to be the season.
Oh man, if anything happens to Daniel Jones, Ryan, well, you do get that cactus that Underdog's going to send you for max.
So excited.
for Max entering Dan Jones.
I can't wait to win that $3 million. I'm gonna rub it right in your face.
And you get the
succulent.
Do you still get the succulent if you win the $3 million?
I assume they give me 150 fucking succulents if I win $3 million. All right. Thursday Night Football. We're back, and I've actually seen some chatter about the awesomeness of week one this year, and it's not from the perspective of the games. It's from the symmetry of the schedule. Let's just say you had an 8 TV setup, aka God's Eye. We're looking at the perfect week. 8 early games, Sean. 5 late games. You got 3 primetime games. You're never going to have a 3-screen setup where you're forced to watch a Rams-Seahawks game. Beautiful symmetry. And it starts with an interesting selection by do we think it's humans or AI that makes the schedule? Humans?
Oh, it's Roger Goodell all day, right?
So
come on.
Our savior, the commissioner, a.k.a. Roger Goodell, picked a hell of a game to open the season. We love the metaphorical significance of blue versus red, Sean, on Thursday night. I'm sure he wasn't thinking about that at all, but the jerseys will look pretty nice. Lions, this was a big question mark for me. Jared Goff opening the season, takes to Kansas City. Andy Reid coming off what we'll call it 40 bye weeks. Kansas City -4.5. This number has tumbled since the news of Travis Kelce. I don't think the Jones news is having much of an effect on it, maybe a half point. I do think Kelce is a big deal. -220 on the money line. Lions +180. 53 is the total. It is worth pointing out Patrick Mahomes has been excellent.
Oh, so good.
Excellent to start the season. 18 touchdowns to 0 interceptions in 5 games. I wonder.
But on the other side, Jared Goff has actually been really good in opening day. Last 6 years, 6-0 ATS, 4-0 straight up, and against the spread with the Rams, 0-2 straight up, but 2-0 ATS with the Lions past 2 years.
And remind me, Sean, was there a magical matchup between the Rams and the Chiefs a couple of years back that some people dubbed the greatest football game ever played?
Yes, some people said it destroyed football with all the scoring and touchdowns.
Colby vomited in his mouth repeatedly. As I think they both scored in the 50s. So, anyways, is this why they brought this back together?
Yeah,
the Jared Goff, Patrick Mahomes, fireworks.
It's a non-conference road spot for the Lions, which is always tough. But Dan Campbell historically has been good as a dog, 15-4 against the spread as a dog of 4+ or more. But I think that was more when people weren't on the Detroit Lions. When people were looking to fade the Detroit Lions, there's just been so much hype coming into this Detroit Lions season that it feels like even without Travis Kelce, how can you fade Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes at home, and you're getting line value, right? It was at 6.5. This should probably be 7. Kelce, it knocks it off a couple points here. Andy Reid, 16-8 in season openers. He's won 7 in a row. I think what's going to be great about this is that he's had all season to scheme up against this Detroit Lions defense, which really was their Achilles heel. The Detroit Lions defense is what sucks. I think this is going to be a shootout game. But if you're telling me I can get the Chiefs laying 4.5, maybe even you score, you shop around, you find that 4 somewhere. How can you not take the Kansas City Chiefs? I get, the trends of the Lions looking good against the spread as a dog.
Offensive line versus defensive line. If Chris Jones doesn't play, this is obviously a massive advantage for the Lions.
Well, do you think Chris Jones plays?
I don't know. He's feeding like homeless at shelters right now. He's like really sticking it to the Chiefs. He's like, I'm going to spend my time giving back. I'm
going to make a bold prediction. I actually think Chris Jones does end up playing because the way he was acting in that interview, it was a guy who was like, hey, come on, guys, let's make this happen. And now that Nick Bosa signed, I think it's kind of set what the price should be. It makes it a little bit easier. Obviously, their defensive line in general is going to be suspect. I do think this could be a big game, and we're going to be doing a Thursday Night Props episode tomorrow, but I do think this is going to be a big game for David Montgomery. I think he's going to get the goal line back work, him anytime touchdown, maybe him even 2 touchdowns, I think is a great spot.
I mean, it has to be. If Montgomery in this rushing attack, Gibbs, I know Gibbs is very popular in the prop market. They have to attack that way. If they don't attack that way and they're not successful that way, how does Kansas City screw this up? I brought up the Mahomes stats to kind of more illustrate This is a team that gets it done. They've lost weapons before. Last year, coming off a year where they lost Travis
they lost
Tyreek Hill. 360 yards, 5 touchdowns. Granted, different competition, but I'm always coming into the season fading Jared Goff in this Lions. I mean, again, halfway through the season, they're not that far off the Jags. To me, it's a similar career or story arc where they turned into a different team in the second half, and that's all we're looking at in the prognostications.
You're completely. Everyone's ignoring how slow they started, how their defense struggled even in their wins. And this is Andy Reid's wheelhouse. This is Andy Reid getting to be creative. I mean, the chat is firing away. They think Sun God 2 touchdowns going. Oh, wow. Noah Gray first touchdown, 2 touchdowns. I actually think Watson is kind of the interesting guy for the Chiefs for first touchdown. I'll release my full list tomorrow, but he's a guy I'm keeping an eye on. And then Richie James, I've been pounding the table in the offseason, Ryan. Richie James is a guy that Andy Reid can scheme open. You give Andy Reid a chalkboard and a piece of chalk, he's going to scheme up some guys open. And Patrick Mahomes,
this is how you spell team, T-E-A-M. No I's in my team.
Showtime Mahomes.
You don't think I know about Richie James?
Yes.
Played for the New York Football Giants last year.
Richie James is perfect for this.
Dude gets open. Dude's going to catch some touchdown passes. Again, I had some, it's always great that people are so aware that you love Anytime and First Touchdown markets that they slide into your DMs to give you tips. Clyde Edwards-Helaire was the other tip I got in the Anytime market, 7-1. So again, we'll be doing some more props, but I certainly would look to spray with Kelsey not playing because it kind of creates a little bit of a distribution.
Super Bowl champs, 14-8-1 ATS in week 1 of the following season since 2000. So
I'm not getting cute. I'm buying the dip. I think it's again. I have the way too early show. We did the way too early show on May 14th.
Yeah, what was the line?
Kansas City was 7. So you're telling me the optimism?
I like Travis Kelce, but he's not worth 2.5 points.
We liked the Chiefs laying 7 back then.
Yes,
we love the Chiefs laying 4.5 now, and why not? I'm not going to sit there and want to root for Jared Goff in this spot, and I'll feel like an asshole when I'm wrong. That's okay though.
All right.
What do we say? This is the year we're not getting fooled.
If Jared Goff goes into Kansas City in a hostile environment in a non-conference road game and balls the fuck out, then I will say it'll be tough times for Jared Goff sucks Island. I think the difference in the game is going to be a Jared Goff key interception.
Ooh, small hands. Let's not forget, still has small hands.
Right, again, remember in the futures market, we like Jared Goff, most interceptions thrown. He kicks off that campaign Thursday night.
I mean, Sean, I'm actually looking at a piece of paper from not many days ago, and it's 6.5. So we're getting some. I think we're getting a little line value here. I get it. You can argue Travis Kelce is very critical to this team. Blah blah blah. I'm not getting cute. Laying the point, Sean. Sunday. This is excellent. Excellent. Was that for the Lions?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so we're about to talk about the Panthers. Sunday, 10 a.m.
That's also for the Panthers.
One of 8 divisional matchups this week to open the season. The Carolina Panthers and Bryce Young head down to Atlanta to take on the Falcons. This, unfortunately, has crept all the way up to 3.5, minus 180 on the money line. Carolina plus 150. 39.5 is the total. Again, we spoke when we spoke about this game back in May. It was either 2.5 or 3. I was on Atlanta, obviously. You were on Carolina. At that point, I think this line movement does make it trickier to take Atlanta, no matter what you think of the Panthers.
Yeah.
But the Panthers might be bad. And I think one of the things we were tracking in the offseason, Sean, was the play calling. We talked about it a little bit. And because if you get into the weeds, there's some optimism about the scheme that they're running down there for Bryce Young. But the offensive coordinator isn't calling the plays. The head coach is calling the plays. And so this comes back to, do you believe in Frank Reich as a play caller, something that kind of has gotten in his own way over the last couple years? And while no one wants to give him any sort of credit for why those teams failed, at some point you got to look in the mirror.
Yeah, Ryan, I know you're normally not an advocate of looking in the mirror, but Frank Reich has struggled in week 1 games. 0-4-1 straight up his last 5 games as a head coach.
He's coaching the Colts, that's why.
And just anytime the number 1 pick overall starts a season, or number 1 overall pick to start.
Get it out. Get it out.
Their last 0-13-1 straight up, the first pick overall to win his first start. They haven't won in the last 14. They are 1-13 against the spread since 2003. Ryan, little trivia. Who was the last number 1 pick overall to win his first start?
Cam Newton.
David Carr.
Oh.
And the Panthers are coming in. I think I'm going to end up switching here to the Falcons.
Really?
I wanted to fade the Falcons just because they're overhyped, and I could see them winning by 3 and the 3.5 being key here. But the Panthers are really, really banged up. DJ Chark didn't practice. Adam Thielen was limited. Terrace Marshall.
Yeah.
They're just incredibly banged up. Their offensive line, Ike Ekwonu, first-round pick first-round pick this year, right?
Last year.
He still looked pretty bad in
He was
preseason.
getting – I don't know if you watched the Giants preseason game like I did, but Kayvon Thibodeau destroyed him. Like, embarrassed. He didn't look very good. So
and then Brian Burns. He's come out recently, and he's demanding a new deal. There must be – there's that running back group, Brian. Maybe there's a group of pass rushers because they're all getting together saying they don't want to play here. I think the Panthers' offensive line is going to struggle. I think, I think they're going to struggle putting pressure on Desmond Ridder. I don't want to be high on this Falcons team, but I actually do think this is an okay spot for them. Miles Sanders, he's off the injury report for the Panthers, even though he's dealt with the soft tissue stuff all season. He might not be at 100%. Okudah for the Falcons, though, this is big. Cornerback, he's probably going to be out, did not practice.
I think that's expected. He got injured, and it was like he was going to be out for the year, but then he wasn't. And so the fact that he wasn't even IR'd, I think, is a good thing.
Arthur Smith, though, is the Falcons' worst head coach against the spread at home over the last 20 years. 5-11 against the spread at home as a head coach.
Yeah, delete that.
Why?
Delete that. What are you doing? What do you
mean?
Trend police over here? Neither one of these teams has been good. Like that's
no.
A lot of the trends indicate both of these teams should lose this game. I'm fading Bryce Young just like I did when I initially bet the under on their win total. All right, so we watched some positives from people in the preseason. Bryce Young was not one of them.
No, he looked like he struggled.
Has no weapons. Maybe Hayden Hurst.
But Desmond Ridder doesn't look great either.
Hayden Hurst maybe is a fun play because who else is going to catch the ball? But, look, I was always going to take the Falcons.
Yes.
We could introduce something that we love to discuss, but you lay the 3.5. You don't take it. Come on, this is basic market dynamics.
Basic handicapping.
And again, I've not brought up betting splits, but as you mentioned, this isn't like a massively lopsided game considering the movement from 3 to 3.5. So I think Arthur Smith, again, he had the confidence to shave his face into a mustache and then proceed to go to the podium and say, quote, "It's a lifestyle choice, not for everyone." He is feeling confident. This is a real-life Billy Madison feeling confident. It's Nudie Magazine Day, and in the mail, he has Bijan Robinson, Tyler Algier, Cordero Patterson.
Well,
by the way,
does he have Cordero Patterson?
They're working him back slowly. I have a feeling he's okay. I wonder how much he'll play. Drake London looking to take a big step.
I think Algier, again, has a big game. We talked about him on the DFS show. I think he has a nice game for them.
So, yeah, obviously I'm laying the points here. You know what's difficult about handicapping this stuff all summer? Changing your opinion. It's very hard to change your opinion. So on this one, I did not change my opinion.
Did.
I will say
it's a big man, right?
I may be backing off of the idea that it's a lock.
Oh, wow.
But I still like the position. I'm still invested in the position. Of course, not trying to brag, but I do have a 3 in my pocket, Sean, as all sharp people do. 10 a.m. Again, game 2 on the early slate. The Texans take on the Ravens. Ravens lay in 10, -500 on the money line, 380 for the Texans. 44 is the total. This is the biggest number on the board.
Yeah.
Rookie head coach DeMeco Ryans, rookie quarterback C.J. Stroud, taking on a John Harbaugh-led team that has just basically crushed early in the season, 6-1 ATS in their last 7 Week 1 games. And this was the crazy nugget. 43-0 outright as double-digit favorites in the regular season.
Really? Straight up.
Yeah, so survivor pick. I think we discussed this.
Well, it is really the perfect culmination of every positive situation for Harbaugh, right? He's dominant in Week 1, 11-4 straight up, 11-4 against the spread. He's dominated rookie quarterbacks, 14-2, and again, and it's not particularly close. They have the NFL's largest point differential and yardage differential in season openers. They just really put it on teams. Again, it's usually because they're playing so hard in the preseason. Maybe that's why things fall apart down the line. Maybe that's why Lamar Jackson can't finish the season. But and on the defensive side, Marlon Humphrey not practicing for the Ravens, which would be a little bit scary if the Texans had more of a passing offense. The Texans actually, they're pretty good at stopping the run. Third last year in the league, 89.8 yards per game allowed, which that's really probably the best skill player on the Texans is our boy Dameon Pierce. So I think if they can slow that down, it's just going to be uphill for this Texans team the entire game. And again, rookie head coach, rookie quarterback.
So the counter argument is this is a big number. The Texans were pretty good against the spread last year, 4-1 as double-digit dogs.
Yeah.
And, it speaks to how bad they were. They're catching double digits 5 times. But I think the counter argument starts with the idea that Baltimore hasn't really done shit with their starters in the preseason. This is a team that's rolling out a new scheme, a new offense. I see the historical stuff as to why, okay, that makes sense. Harbaugh has him going. He cares about the preseason typically, so the team. But it doesn't seem like we've worked out any of the kinks of the offense. Bateman's missed a lot of time.
Mark Andrews missed 6 practices in a row. Again, practiced today in limited fashion.
It was like secret too. They weren't exactly talking about a ton. So I do think that Baltimore gets it done. I am going to take the Houston Texans plus the 10 points.
So the only thing
it's 10 points in the NFL, Sean. What are we doing here? We're not new to this. We have to allow people to realize this.
The only thing that makes me want to hop on the Texans, rookie head coaches are 58% against the spread in their first road game.
And he might be a good one.
DeMeco Ryans.
Basing it on nothing, but he might be a good one.
I don't know. It's just – dog. The number is big, but, yeah, I don't know. Houston plus 10?
We need our tape measure.
I don't see. You know what? I'm going to take the Ravens because you're going to talk me into taking the Ravens for the Survivor, and I'm not going to pick against the team in my Survivor.
Okay. Next up, Game 3 on the 10 a.m. slate. Cincinnati, the Bengals, head to Cleveland to take on the Browns. Browns catching 2.5 here, plus 115 on the money line, minus 135 for the Bengals. 47.5 is the total. Bengals, Browns, always a great matchup. Browns have been pretty good against them of late. And, quite frankly, the Bengals team starts slow. I saw head coach of the Bengals, Zach Taylor, said that Joe Burrow doesn't need any time to get reacclimated, which felt a little bit arrogant, almost like when the mayor said that there was a paternity test needed because Burrow might have been Mahomes' daddy. I don't know. This confidence coming out of Cincinnati is interesting from a franchise that hasn't done anything. And quite frankly, they had a year. They had 1 year.
Cincinnati?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
They had a year.
They were good last year.
Yeah, they had a year.
And they were good the year before.
They had a year and a half.
They've had 2 really good years.
A year and a half. And I don't quite understand where this, we don't need the preseason. It doesn't matter. We're going to start fast, even though we've started slow the last 2 years, and when we've been good teams. And so this is a matchup where I'm always on the Browns here. Well, now my worry is that the public is going to bet it to 3 when they realize that Burrow is definitely playing. But it seems like it's being reported that Burrow is definitely playing, and we're not seeing that line movement.
Yeah.
You know what they say, Sean? You take the 2.5. You don't lay it. Well,
and again, division dogs week 1 in particular are always a good spot there. Ryan, what was it? The nugget
7.
Here you got?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of ways to frame it, but
sure.
Since 2018, 7-0 ATS. Simple enough.
Yeah, and really, the Browns, for whatever reason, have Joe Burrow's number. Joe Burrow's 1-4 against the Browns, which is kind of insane. He's 3-2 against the other teams in the division.
Do we need a paternity test?
Yeah,
Perhaps Joe Burrow's daddy.
But the counter to the Browns is, have you watched Deshaun Watson? Have you seen Deshaun Watson try and throw a football? I mean, if DTR was starting this game, I'd be all over the Cleveland Browns here.
I'm not touching Deshaun Watson.
I don't hate that take.
I mean, come on. And the Bengals have been dominant on the road, ATS.
Sean, do you remember that week 1 game that we had the Steelers last year?
Yeah.
How'd they get that done?
They found it was a magical win that they really had no business winning.
Okay. AFC North. Come on.
Cleveland also really bad week one, if we want to look at that. And Denzel Ward is limited in practice. Juan Thornhill limited in practice. So their secondary is banged up. It could create some opportunities for T. Higgins, for Jamar Chase, obviously. To me, the key to the game is the Browns' pass rush against the Bengals' offensive line. I know the Bengals' offensive line has gotten a little bit better, but the Cleveland Browns are the team that have sacked Joe Burr the most in NFL history. 18 sacks for 133 yards lost. It's disgusting. I don't want to do it, but give me the Cleveland Browns plus 2.5.
And I think that's the other bit. I don't like how much are we talking about this Cleveland pass rush? I mean, they quietly added the best pass rusher on the Vikings last year. Zadarius Smith being there, not really discussing it. I love this matchup. I would also say 75% of the action coming in on the Bengals, and the line is just holding at 2.5. Maybe that do they know something? By the way, Tom Brady coming out with some NFL scripted. Really, Tom Brady, you're retired, and now you think it's a funny joke to say the NFL isn't scripted because you wouldn't have been cool with losing to Eli Manning? What a
It doesn't even was you not shaking Nick Foles' hands, you coward? Was that a part of the script you signed up for?
I knew it irked him, but now he just admitted it. It kills Tom Brady that twice he lost to Eli Manning.
You know what kills me, Ryan? Getting ripped off for game tickets. That's why I go to Game Time. That's why I use the promo code SGPN. That's why I got $20 off when I signed up for my new account. I'm going to the Rams-Eagles in Los Angeles, SoFi Stadium. Already shopping around for the tickets on Game Time. I'm kind of waiting for the last second because that's when you get the good deals, especially on Game Time. And Game Time guarantees you are getting the lowest price. If you can find tickets in the same section and row for less, Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. You got to be kidding me. Don't even try finding cheaper tickets at Game Time. You cannot do it. You get an image of the seat you buy before you get it. It's great. It makes it super easy. Great prices. Love me some Game Time. Again, download the Game Time app, create an account, use code SGPN for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create that account, SGPN, for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed.
Wow, I'm looking at some car tickets later tonight, Sean.
Really?
Should we hit a show?
They also have. I do love Ka.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes,
yeah.
Ka is.
I listen.
Smoking my weed.
If you're there enjoying the medicinal benefits of Las Vegas here, Ka, highly recommend Ka under any state of mind.
We'll save this for the D-Gen's Guide to Vegas, but Cirque du Soleil, the Sphere, and the giant ceiling thing down in Fremont, all fun to stare at. All right. Well, this is the ultimate Week 1 matchup. The Rock next to the hard place. We're right in the middle of it, and the Colts are playing the Jags. Jags laying 5 on the road here.
This is what we're talking about. This is where handicappers – this is where we get our money right.
Minus 225 on the money line. Colts plus 185. 45.5 is the total. Obviously, the Colts have not won a game on opening day since, I think, 2013. But the Jags – Doug Peterson at the helm, 1-4 ATS as a favorite. Jags in general are bad as a favorite.
Doug Peterson, he's lubricating his jet ski. He's out there getting some ice cream in Florida. He's doing anything but getting fired up for this Week 1 game against Shane Steichen, who I think is going to come in with a game plan that involves Anthony Richardson running the ball probably 20 times. I think we're going to see 20 carries from Anthony Richardson. He's going to put the team on his back. And you look at what the Jags did against quarterbacks who are mobile, who use their legs. Jalen Hurts, loss. Your boy Daniel Jones, loss. They did beat the Ravens, barely. But again, not comparing Anthony Richardson to them as quarterbacks, but I do think the running quarterback aspect for the Jags, for the Colts there is going to give the Jags hissy fits. And Shaq Leonard is like a hobo TJ Watt, where the Colts defense, when he's out there, are completely different.
Wait, he's out again?
No, he's a full participant in practice. He's actually going to play.
Oh, this is tough. They empty the tank for Shane Steichen. We just said division dog 7-0
ATS at home. That's divisional home dogs.
I just don't know who's running to take the Jags here. That's terrifying.
What do you mean? Everyone's taking the Jags. Look at the betting splits.
I know. I'm just saying why. What's so exciting about 5 on the road?
Goldilocks.
Sean,
Calvin Ridley. Didn't you see? They played great against the Chargers.
We're gonna
forgetting the fact that he threw 4 interceptions, had an ugly interception in the preseason game, had an ugly interception against the Chiefs.
Sean, debuting a new bit on the show. This is gonna be my official lean of the week, or my official pass of the week. I don't want to bet this game.
You're crazy.
Can you really take the Colts here?
Yes.
Jags 13-2-1 against the Colts.
Shaq Leonard is technically still in the concussion protocol, but I think he will play. He's progressing.
In the preseason protocol is a bad place to be. Jags 13-2-1 ATS against the Colts since 2015, Sean.
Ryan, did we create the AFC South flow chart?
Yeah. And you're going against it.
I'm pulling the AFC South flow chart that says the home team has won the last 11 games. Why are we even thinking about this?
Give me the Jags.
Give me the Colts. You're crazy, Ryan.
All right, yep. Can't take the Colts here. I think Anthony Richardson will look really bad.
He might, and they still might cover 5 points.
Bucks, the Tampa Bay Bucks. Bruce Arians still kind of around. I wonder if he gets to go on road trips. At the spaceship.
No, I think he's
with
his drinking, you don't take that guy on road trips.
He gets tipsy at elevation. Maybe he was behind the diarrhea all over the plane. Minnesota laying 6, minus 245 on the money line. Bucks plus 200, 45.5 is the total. Haven't discussed too much interesting stuff when it comes to the look ahead show, but when we did the way too early, this was 7. It's come down to 6. I think because people are saying, hey, Baker didn't look so bad. Hey, this offense, maybe they're all right. Hey, Bucks have some guys on the roster, and as long as they're kind of healthy, maybe it's not a horrible spot for them. I don't get it. I don't get the line movement. I think that
I don't know why it would shift off of 7.
All we've ever seen from Baker Mayfield. I get being high on Baker that he's going to put up stats this year because of the situation. But come on, like this is Baker. What's going to happen when Brian Flores puts the pressure on him?
He's going to scramble around and throw to Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. It does look like Mike Evans.
He doesn't play well, and he's never been an under pressure quarterback. That's when he shit the bed.
When you're talking about like societal pressure and the pressure of being the leader of a franchise, you're right. He's not good under pressure. This is the lowest pressure situation. They're punting their season. They're tanking for Caleb Williams. They don't care about their quarterback position. That's why they had Baker Mayfield there. Baker Mayfield is 29-41-1 against the spread, Ryan. That would make him the least profitable quarterback over the last 20 years. Other quarterbacks on that list, he's neck and neck with Matt Ryan and Carson Wentz. But let's look at Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins has not been amazing against the spread. At home since 2020, he's only 10-16. So to act like he is some god here that's just going to dominate, I don't see it.
You like that? You like that?
And the Vikings are horrible. Their pass defense is very, very bad. If there's one team in the NFL Baker can carve up, I think it might be this Minnesota Vikings team. And, the Bucs pass defense is all right, especially Antoine Winfield, full participant in practice, that safety. I think he could make a big difference there. Sean Tucker could surprise some people. This Vikings team has a way of messing things up, and I think they do this game. Give me the Bucs catching the 6.
They mess stuff up, just not in this game. We'll disagree again. I think Minnesota's the spot here, and I think you're short selling what this Minnesota offense is going to look like. Yeah, and I really do think that Baker will have better days. I think you're wrong on this. I don't think that's going to be an easy matchup just because the secondary has some holes. I think Brian Flores is going to be able to get into Baker and make Baker do what's made Baker famous, which is hilariously bad plays under pressure. Like I'm predicting a rollout ball flies out of his hand as he's trying to throw, even though he's inside a dome and it's dry. That's what I'm predicting. Bummer day for Baker. Hopefully he holds the starting job. I do have a decent amount of him in best ball. and who knows? Maybe this is a bit of a shootout. I just like the guns on Minnesota's side better. So I'm all in. I'm probably, it sucks that it's 6. Somehow it's less attractive to tease, but Minnesota's still survivor ready.
Any chance you can put Kirk Cousins in a tee. You got to, right?
This is the games he wins, Sean. He wins when it's 10 a.m. and he's playing against Baker Mayfield. Come on. You know better. I know ball. Sean's working on it. Tennessee heads to New Orleans. New Orleans down to -3. This was 3.5 for a lot of the summer.
Like it better at 3.
Like it better at 3. Interesting.
Yes.
-165 on the money line. Tennessee +140. 41 is the total. Obviously, I have not done anything. Nothing that's happened this offseason has made me like the Saints any more than a team that's overrated, sitting up top their division's futures. And everything that's happened, with the exception of the Treylon Burks injury, this offseason has made me like the Titans more. All the bullshit about them trying to sell Ryan Tannehill turned out to be nonsense. Mike Vrabel, win now. Signs D-Hop. Treylon Burks, you know what? He was going to miss all this time. He had that injury. Boom, he's practicing. He looks good. Chig, a Okonkwo.
Chig.
That's a guy you like. And when we look at Dennis Allen, is there not more of a beta NFL coach who it's not quite Jonathan Gannon, but Jonathan Gannon is a poor man's Dennis Allen. Is that a disrespectful statement? It should be.
I mean, it should be. Ryan, in their coaching career, who has more losses, Dennis Allen or Mike Vrabel?
Dennis Allen, definitely.
Dennis Allen is 15-38. Mike Vrabel is 48-34. What are we talking about? This is a grown man Titans team that, shit they fell apart. They had the season from hell, and they're about to get up off the floor and go on a bit of a run here. Mike Vrabel's worst year as a coach was last year when they lost everyone injury. It was crazy losses. Even then, he was playing his ass off. I mean, again, remember, Malik Willis didn't know how to throw the ball, and they took Kansas City to overtime in Kansas City. This guy is a damn good coach, and he's got Ryan Tannehill, 78-65 as a starter. Derek Carr, 63-79. Derek Carr and Dennis Allen, it's just a low-energy beta parlay that is just not going to get it done. I just don't understand it. And New Orleans, you know where they struggle? Stopping the rush. 24th in rush yards allowed. That is going to get Derrick Henry motivated. This is the beginning of the season. And the Saints always struggle. They're like the opposite of the Broncos. We always talk about how the Broncos start off great at home, ATS. The Saints are the exact opposite. They're 3-17 against the spread in weeks 1 and 2 since 2013. Whatever it is, they start off slow. And the Saints, they don't have much of a pass rush. The past couple of years, they've kind of lost that. So to me, the Titans' weakness is their pass blocking. I'm kind of quietly higher on their offensive line in general than most, but I think they're going to be able to give Tannehill some time. I'm a Tannehill stan. I'm climbing Manahill this Sunday. And last but not least, Marshawn Lattimore limited in practice. Now, again, I'm sure he'll be out there, but he's dealing with a tweaked knee. So I think that's just one more checkbox in favor of the Tennessee Titans.
I don't think we talked about it a lot, too, but they are also in the second year of an offensive system. That's been kind of one of the consistent themes for me in terms of teams that I like. Tim Kelly is in his second year there. So optimism. Last thing I'll say, you gave out the Dennis Allen record.
Yes.
ATS record, 21-32.
It's pretty bad.
Did you know that he is the only coach out of 168 coaches to coach at least 50 games in the Super Bowl era to have a sub 40% covering rate? Shout out to the other four-letter network for that nugget. But
everyone's just penciling them in to go on this run and to be the division favorites. It's bonkers.
Yeah, it was the beginning of my Falcons thesis. Thanks for listening.
Yes.
All right, we like the Titans. Titans have entered lock potential, too. They might be on our card. They might find their way onto our circa card this weekend. All right, a couple more of the early slate. 2 more to go, in fact. 10 a.m., San Francisco, the 49ers. What's this, a West Coast team heading east early? Heading to Pittsburgh, of all places, where the Steelers are +2.5 at home? What? +105 on the money line, -125 for the Niners, who, by the way, Nick Bosa is back.
Yes.
41.5 is the total. And all summer, this has been 3. We bet it at 3 a long time ago. And, all right, sure, there's a lot of optimism about the Steelers because Kenny Pickett looked good in the preseason. And George Pickens looks like he could be an alpha DOG, unlike those DAWGs down there in Philly. I love the optimism that everyone else is sensing. We're on the same train. And, is it weird to say I don't mind it at 2.5? Because, of course, you take 2.5. You don't lay it. Yeah, come on. What are we doing here? Brock Purdy. What? No Kittle? That feels like a big deal. Bigger than Kelsey, if you ask me.
I think so. And you saw like Brock Purdy's success was in a big part of it was throwing to George Kittle. So not having George Kittle is huge. And the 49ers, something must be going on in that organization. One, besides them getting together and go, it wasn't fair. The injuries weren't fair. Something they're doing wrong because everyone
We need a third QB. We need a third QB.
Will they have the third QB on the roster? Oh, I cannot wait to see the 49ers actives on game day.
Every week we have to make sure to put something out on social.
The kicker they drafted in the 4th round that's struggling in the preseason, he's banged up. They have a different kicker on the practice squad. They have a ton of injuries. There's even been rumors about Christian McCaffrey being banged up a little bit and them even load managing Christian McCaffrey early in the season. You cannot do that against the Steelers defense. TJ Watt is healthy. Break out your little flow chart.
Yep,
is TJ Watt on the field?
Yes.
Then bet on the Pittsburgh Steelers. 1-6 and 30th against the pass without Watt. 8-2 with TJ Watt. He is a game changer. And again, like I think their rush defense is going to be pretty solid. I liked what they did with in the draft. Like their defense, I think is. I mean, the fact that you can get the Steelers defense really late in fantasy.
Especially for
we're
this
not here
matchup.
to break down fantasy defenses, but in no world should Brock Purdy be a road favorite, Ryan. What am I taking crazy pills? What's going on here?
They do have a good roster. And, yeah, sure, this is fun. This is obviously fun. And honestly, part of the whole reason we faded them early in the summer was the quarterback situation. Like, how can they be laying points when you don't know who the starter is going to be? And so now that we know it's Brock Purdy, are we sure Brock Purdy's good? Are we sure Brock Purdy is going to be a guy that now that we have all this tape on him, that he's going to still be able to get done?
He was the last pick in the draft, and he blew out his arm at the last game of the season.
Yep.
They did load management in preseason.
Yep.
It's not going to end well.
You didn't hear it from us, but he did go to Iowa State, and he did share a quarterback room with Mr. Decker. So, again, not breaking any news, but maybe there's something looming.
Maybe a little gambling suspension.
I didn't say it. Hey, $7.77 parlay.
Yeah, a little taking us back to our team previews with the most likely D-Gen. Hey, you're a D-Gen. Have you signed up for Hall of Fame bets? That's right. Win bigger by betting smarter this NFL season with Hall of Fame bets, the sports betting analytics platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Imagine having tools specifically dialed in to like maximize your parlays. They got you covered for a bunch of sports: NFL, NBA, MLB, even soccer. Which debatable whether or not it's a sport. They got historical stats and data. And again, enter any parlay idea, which I have many parlay ideas, into Hall of Fame Bet's revolutionary parlay optimizer. Come on.
Interesting.
It's sweet. They break it down by leg, the hit rates, as well as expected probability for the entire parlay. Sort out players by hit rate for any bet to learn which players are hot and which picks have value. Like all the manual research I'm doing on Football Reference, all that kind of stuff, the heavy lifting, Hall of Fame Bets has you covered. Stop betting in the dark and join over 30,000 users researching with Hall of Fame Bets to craft more intelligent, data-driven parlays, Ryan. Right up your alley. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit hofbets.com and use code SGPN to get 50% off your first month. Start researching, start winning with Hall of Fame Bets.
Oh, that sounds
Some say Hall of Fame read.
It sounds like some spreadsheet activity going on there. Some deep data mining. All right, last of the early slate. Again, perfect. 8 games early. Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait until the game's
Nick
drop.
Fortune, our 49ers insider, saying Purdy is still not 100%. Completely agree.
No shit. Tommy John's. I mean, I watch baseball. I understand how this works. 10 a.m., last of the early kicks. Arizona heads to our nation's capital to take on the Washington football team, a.k.a. the Commanders, and maybe soon to be the Redskins again. -7, -310 on the money line. Cardinals plus 250. 38 is the total. All right, so this is pretty simple. We have Josh Dobbs, who, for an astronaut, didn't look bad as a quarterback last year. Now he joined the team a couple weeks ago. I'm sure he's a smart guy. He's a smart guy in the wild. So he's probably a genius in NFL terms, which means, all right, maybe he picks up the playbook. Maybe they have some talent around him. maybe Sam Howell shouldn't fucking be laying 7 points in his. I mean, what are we doing?
Break
here?
out your slide ruler, Josh Dobbs.
Sean, you know what the most popular pick in Survivor is?
Force equals mass times volume, and the Washington D line is going to force its way on top of you.
I will say the Washington D line is a tremendously bad matchup, but should we really be laying 7 points?
I know. I'm looking at Sam Howell's career stat: 1 start, and he's a 7-point favorite.
Ron Rivera's the coach, though.
Is he, or is Eric Bieniemy pulling the strings back
he's
there?
He's mean, though. Mean.
Eric Bieniemy did beat this Chiefs team 44-21. Obviously, a slight upgrade on some of the. What did I say?
The Chiefs.
Oh, okay. Well, he was on the Chiefs, and they beat the Cardinals. Jonathan Gannon, although neck and neck with Ron Rivera as far as coaches, who I don't think have a long leash left here in the NFL.
His motive. Why would you post that on? Don't show stuff that makes the coach look like he's not in charge.
Can you take the Skins as home favorites? No, you can't. They're 10-25 against the spread as home favorites of more than 4 since 2000. I'm worried by taking the Cardinals. You're getting cute, but can we? To me, it's a bet against the Commanders of being 7-point favorites.
Everyone's going to have them in the Survivor.
I know. This is the one that's going to ruin everyone's Survivor. Give me the Arizona Cardinals +7. This is not going in any sort of locks, but
give me Washington.
Our buddy Nick's pumping his fist there in the booth.
Yeah, give me Washington.
You're taking the.
I mean, I kind of believe Sam Howell might be all right.
Well,
this is a bet against.
You want to talk about plus EV opportunity? Either I get to show up on the recap show and go, "I told you guys the Cardinals," or I just call you a square and say, "Yeah, of course."
It's easy. I see your play.
Come on. Handicap 101.
Oh, this is the most lopsided game, too. I'll eat the chalk. All right, let's head to the afternoon slate. Good afternoon slate. Green Bay, Chicago. The rivalry has changed a little bit, Sean. Chicago favored here, -1, -115 on the money line. Green Bay -105. 42 is the total. Obviously, a lot of the trends you're going to hear people talk about with Green Bay or Matt LaFleur, they kind of included a guy named Aaron Rodgers, and I don't know how applicable they might be here. I do tend to agree that sometimes there are just advantages franchises have over other franchises, and I think in the Bears-Packers one, the Packers have been able to run on the Bears for years, and I wonder if that isn't going to improve this year with Matt LaFleur looking to get more into the ground and pound, and maybe not put as much on Love's arm as he did with Aaron Rodgers. Or, as we find out now, Aaron Rodgers wanted to put more on Aaron Rodgers' arm just so our hero could have something to complain about.
Well, and it's interesting, too, because I think both teams, at least last year, very bad against the run. And I think I even have a couple of the DraftKings Millie Maker lineups where I did a Khalil Herbert and Aaron Jones. Because now, especially with the Packers receivers being banged up, I think this is setting up for a great game for not only the man, the myth, the legend, Luke Musgrave, but also for Aaron Jones, for A.J. Dillon, because Romeo Doubs I really don't think is going to play. And then Christian Watson is right there on the fence as well. Which
is crazy.
Yeah.
Again, worst part of the offseason is when we finally get the official practice reports.
Yeah.
And it's like, what is this? Why did I know about this?
But on the other side, the Bears are dealing with issues. I mean, they're starting a rookie tackle, Tevin Jenkins, their left guard, who was a big part of the offensive line, at least the part that worked. He is out. He's on. He's going to miss 4 games. So I think this is going to be kind of a weird game. And maybe I'm overthinking this, but is there a world where the Packers running receiver injuries may have helped them, at least in the idea it forces them to run the game through their running backs?
I think they need Watson. I think Watson gives them some element of speed.
Do you think Watson plays?
I don't know. It's very unclear what he's like. Dobbs, I actually think Dobbs played. I think Romeo plays. I don't know. The fact that we don't really know what's up with Watson is concerning. That being said, is Justin Fields still the quarterback of the Bears?
Yes.
Okay. Did you know?
3-14 is the starter last year.
Yep. And actually has fewer wins in his career compared to Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson, 8 wins in his career. Justin Fields, 5. Well, that's embarrassing, Justin Fields. You know what else is embarrassing? He's only better than Colt McCoy in terms of ATS records for quarterbacks who have started at least 25 games. He's 8-16-1, Sean. And I get this. This is basically a money line play. But there is some significance to the fact that they were laying 2.5. Now it's 1. They're the favorites. And I don't see that what they've done has improved them enough to overcome. And look, we haven't discussed the strength of the Packers defense, which is the secondary.
Yeah.
And if Justin Fields is going to, quote, throw the ball more,
Jair
turnover
Alexander.
city. So give me Green Bay. I think this is one you circle
like
for a teaser for sure. I think,
especially you can get it up to 7. Or if it keeps going up higher, 1.5, 2 points.
Let's trickle this all the way up. All right, next up, 125. Las Vegas, the Raiders, Denver Broncos. Broncos laying 3.5, minus 180 on the money line. Raiders plus 155. 44 is the total. I believe this was like 4.5 or something even crazier when we first discussed this one, Sean. Back down here at 3.5. This was one of the tougher handicaps for me because when you look at the data, Raiders have kind of owned the Broncos over the last couple of years. 4-0 ATS in those 4 games. Sean Payton, traditionally a slow starter, 2-6 ATS.
Yeah.
So we know this was an autoplay on Denver when I started.
Yep.
And boy, Raiders don't look good, and we're hearing off the record stuff about
even the Chandler Jones thing. If you've been following that, he's posting messages or I don't want to play for this team. They did like a mental health wellness check on Chandler Jones.
They sent someone from like Clark County, whatever it is, like someone who works for the government to come out and like retrieve him because he's a threat to himself.
It's really bizarre. And then, kind of on the funnier side, Devontae Adams just keeps chirping off and insulting the organization, the coach. Josh McDaniels is a loser. You know who he is.
Loser.
He is a loser. And to me, this is just a bet against the Las Vegas Raiders at elevation. I mean, you've already seen all this stuff happening with this team. Do you think they're going to come in dialed in shape to go up in that elevation? And maybe Sean Payton telling Russell Wilson, you got to stop kissing all those babies. You're not a politician. You got to stop worried about Russell Inc. Maybe that actually got to Russell Wilson, and maybe he'll have a good game. Obviously, the Broncos have issues with the receivers, but I keep coming back.
Offensive line.
I keep coming back to Denver's 32-8 straight up in the month of September. Like, they show up as a team early on, and I think that's going to be the story with this Sean Payton-led team. I know Sean Payton has had issues. I think Samaje Perine is going to have a really good game against this Raiders defense. Like, they have Max Crosby and no one else on that defensive side.
I think it might be Javonte Williams, though.
Okay, maybe. I'm skeptical of Javonte Williams' knee still, but again, I think they're going to be able to run the ball on them. And I just don't. And also, too, like, coming back to Jimmy G, if Jimmy G has a great offensive scheme and a ton of time to throw, maybe he can get it done. But he is neither here.
Wait, Josh McDaniels, not a genius offensive coach? I mean, I will say this. Let's pay them a compliment. He might be an asshole and he might not be likable, but his wife was smart enough to get them out of that Indy deal working for Jim Irsay. So
that was true.
I guess I'll lay the points with you again. Just kind of playing the market, being smart this year, not doing anything stupid. I don't know how you can bet this Raiders. I mean, again, we're in Las Vegas.
No,
there's birdies everywhere, and I don't think too many people are high on this Raiders team right now. Even Raiders fans don't seem to be super high on the organization. In fact, it gives me vibes of Yankees fans on social where they hate the manager and the GM so much they just
it's like the Commanders.
I actually don't think that's as bad. I think that's more like they're learning to love the new owner. 125. Third of the late kicks. Miami taking on Los Angeles, the Chargers in SoFi. There will be a lot of teal out there. Do we think the Chargers could hold serve here with their home crowd? -3, -160 on the money line.
It's going to be neck and neck with
plus
the
140.
Dolphins. Imagine if the Chargers are bad, like really bad. Let's say, God forbid, Justin Herbert got injured, and it's a rebuilding season led by Easton Stick. Like, could you imagine what the attendance would look like?
No, more people would be going to the Angel City FC games. That's for the locals. Look, this would indicate even teams if Los Angeles had a home field edge.
Yes.
Do you think these are even teams?
No, I think I think right now, as we stand, the Chargers are a better team because they're actually healthy. For like beginning of the season, they're actually healthy. Joey Bosa, Khalil Mack, healthy. Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, healthy. Like that's really where this Chargers team falls apart. We have Justin Herbert without a debilitating rib injury. And really, like how many times can you say this where the Chargers are actually the healthier team? To me, I love fading teams that have offensive line injuries that I don't think are handicapped into the line. Teron Armstead, the left tackle for the Dolphins, by all accounts, he is not going to be playing in this game. And that's going to just create amazing opportunities for Bosa, for Khalil Mack, and I don't think they're factoring that into this line enough. When has Tua gotten in trouble? When he's gotten a shit ton of pressure. His judo belt cannot save him from Joey Bosa.
And I will say, both of the children have played some soccer on SoFi Stadium. They've come back with it's a very soft surface, so maybe good for Tua.
And Tua struggled against the Chargers defense last year. He was 10 of 28, 145 yards, 1 touchdown against the Chargers. He looked really bad.
The concern here would be that they let him run, and McDaniel's able to run with but that's the counter argument, right? Like it's Mostert, it's maybe A-Chain, and maybe nothing else.
Yeah, the Dolphins running backs are banged up as well. Now maybe they just light it up in the passing game and they blow out the Chargers.
No.
But I think
I'll go further because again, not doing a ton of betting splits talk, but I think this is going to be the official like pros versus Joes game.
Really?
I think you're going to have a lot of the quote pros on Miami because I think they're going to look at these teams, and I kind of agree they're pretty close to similar teams, but I do like this Chargers team in this spot. I think we kind of broke it down. We think the Dolphins can start slow, maybe even 0-2. And so, I think – and last thing, you didn't mention it, but the Chargers have been good in week 1, 3 straight covers. So, again, let's –
start off decent. And right now, the VSiN betting splits for DraftKings, they have Miami catching 54% of the action. Of course, hey, we're going to be on VSiN Friday night, 9 o'clock Pacific to midnight on the West Coast. Going to be a sports gambling podcast live. You can watch it on YouTube TV or vsin.com, listen anywhere. So and they're going to rerun it a bunch of times. But yeah, Ryan, I mean, are you with me? I just don't see how the Chargers don't get it done here.
So this is
I guess that's a strong take for the Chargers, but
so we were both interested in the Dolphins in the way too early show.
Well, that was me predicting they would have a crippling injury between when we did it and the beginning of the season. Like, how have they gone this far without a horrible injury? For
me, I think what's shifted it is that I do think that this Chargers team is going to come out and make a statement, and I think that's all this is. This is one of those gut bets. And I hear a lot of people are betting the Dolphins as if the Dolphins fans are going to be swarming in the stadium.
Yeah,
I think you're misreading that situation because if anything, like game 1 is the game that some Chargers fans might actually show. And honestly, knowing Decker, he probably has this game circled as like, oh shit, we're going to actually have a home game. These Dolphins fans,
it might be close.
Well, that's one of the few places that they're not going to see warm weather. They got warm weather, and they got snow in Miami too all season.
Oh yeah. Hey, Ryan, Underdog Fantasy, if you were just talking about the best ball, how many entries you've put in.
150.
Yeah, 150. They still have their weekly winners for best ball, and, of course, their Pick'em contest. Love the Pick'em. I keep giving out Jalen Hurts over a half rushing touchdowns against the New England Patriots. You can go higher and lower. I'm going higher. I'm all in on Jalen Hurts getting some more goal line touchdowns. And UnderdogFantasy.com, use the promo code SGPN. Get a 100% deposit bonus up to $100. Easy way to get a sweet, sweet bonus there. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code SGPN. And then on the Thursday Night Prop Show, we're going to be talking a little bit more Underdog Fantasy. And, we got more Underdog Fantasy plays coming on the other episodes. But get in on that Jalen Hurts over or higher a half.
Yeah, also get in on the weekly winners. They're going to be a massive overlay. So, free money. And for weekly winners, it's like a DFS contest every week. So you're just competing against less people. All right, next up, 125 on the West Coast. Philly The Eagles, they take on the Patriots.
Go.
I think Tom Brady might be in the building. This is a interesting one.
It's a baby fucking wheel, man.
Ex-girlfriend's in town to watch you coach, Bill. Patriots are 4-point home dogs.
Are you sure you want to throw that past McCorkle?
Put plus 165 on the money line. Philly minus 200. 45 is the total. I don't know if you saw it, but Zeke Elliott got a reversible 21-15 diamond chain because he's now 15. He was 21. Such symmetry. I don't understand it. You sucked in 21. You're gonna suck in reverse now. and with 15. I love that Zeke is on the Patriots because now it's rejuvenated my hate for the Patriots. And
he is a fun guy.
Bill Belichick. I was watching a press conference clip. Bill Belichick got a question about a long snapper and proceeds to answer for 10 minutes about the importance of the long snapper. Bill Belichick is past his prime. I hate to do it.
Wow, Ryan.
I hate to do it.
Save the hot takes.
I agree with Capper. He might be done. Both the GM and the coach, Bill Belichick, might be done. I don't know how you find a way to take the Patriots here.
Yeah, I guess you talk yourself into Billy Belichick as a home dog. I think Bill Belichick going up against a new offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator, making their, in their debut. I think that's the angle you look at. But let's take a look again. Right tackle Riley Reif is out for the Patriots. That is just going to create an amazing opportunity for my boy Nolan Smith, Hassan Reddick.
How's his boo-boo on his thumb? Is it better?
Hassan Reddick? Yeah.
Okay.
He's playing through it. Dude, they have no one on their injury report. You look at the Patriots, Devontae Parker, knee, offensive lineman Trent Brown, illness.
Well, they mess with that, though. Remember? That's Belichick.
Yeah, but he's not messing with the injured list. Like, Riley Reif is not going to be out there. And how do you beat a Bill Belichick defense? You give him a mobile quarterback. Obviously, we know Jalen Hurts is much better than Justin Fields. But Justin Fields went into New England and beat them 33-14. He had 14 carries for 82 yards and a touchdown. I just think the Eagles' line of scrimmage is going to they're going to dominate on both sides of the line of scrimmage. And I don't think there's anyone that can really guard A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith. I think any defense is going to have trouble matching up with that.
Oh, wait a second. I found some reasons. A Super Bowl hangover?
No.
Wait, you didn't even bring it up, Sean. You promised you'd bring it up. 4-19 ATS for the Super Bowl losers. Do you have a lock screen? Do you have are you like loser Hurts with your loser phone screen? Let's remember loser. Oh my God, you got it in your pocket. Put it on. Show everyone your chain. Is it reversible just like Zeke's? Because Bill Belichick 15-8 ATS is a home underdog. This is an auto play. I don't think it's an autoplay. And I don't think
untamed, rare breed. Come on, Jalen Hurts is the man. He's been chomping at the bit to avenge that Super Bowl loss, and I feel bad for any schmo that stands in his way. Look at this sick chain. YouTube.com/sportsgambling podcast. Shout out to the Blue Wire production crew, best crew in the business.
Oh wow,
getting
that's
a nice
way tight.
Close up on the untamed, rare breed. I got the right jersey. I got the right spot.
You're such a man. Yeah,
don't be jealous, right? Don't be jealous. Danny Dimes doesn't have a sick chain or a sick nickname.
He does.
Or sick playoff wins. Or sick domination on the 9-3 straight up as a road favorite. That's what separates the boys from the men.
Maybe
the ability to cover as a road favorite.
Maybe go with Dan Jones never won a national championship on the bench. How about that? Does that work? Dan Jones never got benched in a national championship.
Did he ever make it to a national
championship? No, but he never got benched in one either. Give me the Patriots plus the points.
Oh, now I feel really good about this.
Give me the Patriots plus the points. What kind of donkey is laying 4 points with the Eagles in Philly or in New England? What kind of donkey play? Look at you. Donkey. I can confirm Sean doesn't have that loser shit on his phone screen.
Ryan, why are you so jealous of the Eagles? Just because they're a much better team who kicked your ass
They
last
have
year?
a bunch of DAWGs who haven't gotten their stripes, and you're a little too excited, so I got to bring you back down to earth. Patriots are going to shock the world. Bill O'Brien going to stick that dagger right in the back. Next up, last of the afternoon games, Rams, Seahawks. Seahawks laying 5.5, minus 250 on the money line, plus 205 for the Rams. 46 is the total. Okay, this is a very big spread for the Seattle Seahawks.
Yep.
I've seen some sharp money coming in on the Seahawks.
You talking about my plays, Ryan?
No, you're not on the Seahawks. I don't think you are.
I thought you were saying Rams.
No, sharp money is coming in on the Seahawks. Cooper Kupp is not playing, and as everyone will remind you, Cooper Kupp is important. I don't know if we've seen enough from Ben Skowronek, Van Jefferson, and Puka Nacua for you deep.
You sound like you're talking fantasy football. This is real NFL football where you line them up. You go, you battle it out in the trenches.
So why
the trenches, which would include a guy like Aaron Rodgers or Aaron Donald?
Oh man,
I was looking ahead towards the Monday night game. They hung with Seattle last year, even when they were a bad team, even when they didn't have Cooper Kupp and Aaron Donald. This year they have Aaron Donald. They lost 23-27 to Seahawks at home and then lost in overtime 19-6. So they would have covered 5.5 either way last year in both situations. This is the ultimate. Nobody believes in us. They're a division dog. McVay has owned Pete Carroll, 9-4 ATS. Ben Skowronek, it is Ben Skowronek's season, Ryan.
No, stop it.
I think really why I like this Rams team is I think Cam Akers is going to be able to run all over this Seahawks defense.
Yeah, I mean, it's a flowchart game.
Geno struggled against the Rams.
Flowchart game. 8-1 ATS Rams over the Seahawks, including the playoffs.
Sean McVay, 5-1 ATS week 1.
NFC West flowchart situation. Give us the Rams and the points. Rams will be a team we want to fade later in the year, I think, once they've gotten banged up. But
we'll see what happens with Kupp. But, not off to a great start.
Maybe he'll come back. Seeing another specialist. Again, that's why I stretched before the show. I wanted to make sure I got through the season without tearing a hammy. Sunday night football. Why do they do this to me? I hate Giants-Cowboys games to open the season. It's been nothing but misery.
No, what are you talking about? 6 years ago, we were out.
That was not my enjoyment.
Oh, you weren't excited when I won $200,000 after the Giants-Cowboys game?
No.
I was pretty excited.
All right. Is that what you paused me just to tell me about that?
Giants won that game, didn't they?
No.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I was too busy winning $200,000. Keep going.
I mean, for those who, it was 19-3 too. It was a low-scoring game. That's why you fucking won.
Yeah. It's awesome.
Excuse my language.
I assume we're going to start off talking about Daniel Jones, who's going to be making weekly appearances on Kay Adams on FanDuel TV. Congrats, yes. Ryan. That's when you know you have a franchise quarterback, when he signs a deal to do weekly Kay Adams appearances.
Jalen Hurts doesn't do media?
Oh, he does.
Okay.
But not weekly, I didn't. Not weekly Kay Adams appearances.
Got it. So he doesn't have any media appearances.
Not during the season.
Okay.
No, he's busy.
Too busy looking at his loser phone.
Dude, he does his commercials in the offseason.
Plus 3.5.
And then he's grinding it out.
Plus 3.5 for the Giants at home here. And plus 145 on the money line. Dallas minus 170. 46.5 is the total. Money came in early on the Cowboys and then poured in on the Giants through the offseason. And now he's coming back in on the Cowboys. People realizing how great it is to have Mike McCarthy calling plays. I just... The simple mechanics of getting rid of an offensive mind that is trying to at least think progressively, to take a step back, to put your quarterback, Rain Dakota Prescott, on the rails with Brian Schottenheimer, doesn't seem like a plus EV move the way that team is built. Maybe they're going to play defense and run the ball. With how many running backs on this roster have carried the ball 250 times in a season? So maybe Pollard's good to start the year, but the Giants have upgraded their linebacking core. They've upgraded their speed in general on the defensive side. They've upgraded their speed on the offensive side. And quite frankly, what people maybe are forgetting, in the offseason at the Combine, wide receiver coach for the Cowboys came up to Jalen Hyatt and basically said, you're a one-trick pony. You can't run routes. And Jalen Hyatt said, I think I can. Oh, first touchdown, Jalen Hyatt. Did you see the way he okey-doked Sauce Gardner in the preseason? Went by him like he wasn't moving.
Is he going to be on the active roster?
He will be.
Game day?
Your energy sucks right now. Your energy sucks.
My energy is great. Give me a solo camera.
You like that?
That's right.
Pick the Cowboys.
You like that? many are saying that Daniel Jones is the next Kirk Cousins. Is it because he's 0-4 straight up in prime time? He's 1-10 straight up, 5-6 ATS in prime time in his career, but really struggling at home under the bright lights. Many are saying he's the next Kirk
That's
Cousins.
what you're saying.
I really wanted to
13-4 ATS last year against the spread. I said it against the spread twice. That's how excited I was.
Well, come on, Ryan. You really decide when you want to look in the rearview mirror and when you don't.
Come on, you're saying shit that's basically inaccurate.
What do you mean? He's 0-4 straight up at home in
We're
prime
not
time.
talking about last year. We're talking about this year.
He's lost to the Cowboys twice. He lost to the Steelers and he lost to the Bucs.
Yeah, the Giants have not done well against the Cowboys lately. That's why this opening every year I come out, I get excited, it's prime time, and then I'm disappointed, and then I get drunk, and then I go to the high limit area and I lose like $5,000 playing blackjack by myself like a loser. Are you happy? Are you happy? Occasionally I end up winning a shitload of money.
I'm happy
That's
for
cool,
Derek,
and that makes me feel better.
Stevens over at the Circa.
Listen.
I'm listening.
I have not been this excited about a Giants team.
Oh,
Progressive
what
thinking,
could go wrong?
Offensive mind. This could be. I mean, we could see some absolute cooking. Evan Neal basically saying, "I had the worst game I've ever played as an adult against the Dallas Cowboys, against Mr. Lawrence, and I didn't get a chance to pay him back last year." I love the confidence. I love the step forward this team will make. And if I will say this, come find me somewhere in the wind being really sad and probably ripping a bunch of heaters and just trying to forget life. If the offensive line looks like trash, we might have the first roller coaster. The post-game show live from the wind might not be lit.
Kramer will be lit. We'll see if the show is lit. Because we're going to tape our recap show live right after the Sunday night game ends. As Kramer pointed out, Cowboys have won 16 of the last 20 games. Kramer, you're kind of embarrassing the show. I mean,
What do you mean?
Our whole brand is built on how the Cowboys suck, and yet the Giants aren't pulling their weight.
I know. That's why this is our year. Again.
All right, I'm going to take the Giants.
Again, I've not.
But I don't feel good about it.
Have you spoken?
Home division dogs, and you haven't even addressed. You feel the entire time we've been hanging out discussing these week 1 spreads. I go, oh yeah, Giants are 3.5. You're like, no, they're 3. Stop saying they're 3.5. Where are you getting this number? The entire time, Ryan's like personally insulted that bookmakers would give them 3.5.
Sean,
it should be 3. Where are you getting that 3.5? You're making that up.
Every time I draft Dan Jones in the 10th, 11th round of these best ball drafts, I get personally disrespected that all these people let him fall. When I'm able to get Darren Waller in the 5th round, I say, holy God, are people not paying attention? I just don't think people are paying attention, Sean. And I God help the world if this offense comes out, looks firing, and Wink Martindale has the defense ticking. My head's going to explode.
Wink Martindale's chain sucks. I'll say it.
Whoa. If Wink Martindale was in this room right now, you wouldn't say that shit. You'd say, hello, Mr. Martindale. Would you prefer Wink or Don?
I would not say that.
Yes, you would. You see those You see those arms he has? Come on. All right.
Scared.
Obviously, we're taking the Giants. Money line's in play. I won't lock it up though. I don't want to do anything diabolical. Monday Night Football. Again, we don't need to see Aaron Rodgers all the time, but here we are. Which you didn't even mention it, Sean. The Giants actually have the most primetime games in the first 6 weeks of the season.
Awesome.
And this game, Sunday night, you're going to love this. Little blew out Giants Stadium. Watch out. For the first time in
look out.
Well, no, this is like the first time ever. The Giants are actually trying to oh, hey fans, maybe we should make some noise. Maybe
even with the big day on Wall Street, I know Giants fans, a lot of high finance guys. And we'll do some day trading in the parking lot, and then come out to the game.
You're jealous. That's what you would love to do.
Oh yes, I'm
buy
jealous
some crypto.
I'm jealous of their financial shenanigans.
Let's stay in New York because we have back-to-back New York primetime games. This has to disgust people from small towns across America. The Bills laying 2.5.
That is a disgusting act.
Oh, man, I watched that clip recently, and it's still like the way that his voice, Joe Buck's voice, hits when Randy Moss pretends to take his pants down. It's so funny. Buffalo, the Bills laying 2.5 here. Jets. Plus 120, minus 140 going the other way.
Jets.
46.5 is the total. It's disgusting. Our hero has followed in the great footsteps of Brett Favre. Hopefully he keeps the flip phone down.
Although he probably does have a flip phone because he's worried about radiation. Did you see that thing on Hard Knocks where Zach Wilson comes up to him, he's like, "Hey man, everyone's making fun of your headphones. You got you had like those normal earbuds, and you got to get with the times, get like wireless headphones." He's like, "Oh yeah, so I can save my he goes, I'm just keeping my brain safe from radiation. You idiot." He told Zach Wilson, he's like, "You can't fix stupid." And then Zach Wilson, who also is probably stupid, just wearing his headband, he's like, "Okay, I'm stupid. All right, cool. Yeah, I like being stupid.
The idea of
my headband's cool. I like headphones. I'm stupid. Aaron Rodgers called me stupid. I'm stupid." Like, that's Zach Wilson.
It's
kind
like
of adorable.
Aaron Rodgers walking his lab down the street, a.k.a. Zach Wilson.
This guy looks angry. Hopefully he's not a Zach Wilson fan.
He's
just making fun of him.
Big Zach Wilson guy. He looks like he might be a soaker. The Jets catching 2.5 here. Obviously, this is the Aaron Rodgers show.
Yeah.
So
A-Rod, Garrett Wilson.
Well, we know in theater terms, generally that opening night's a big deal, but there's a lot of pressure, maybe some celebrities in the house. The amount of people talking about how excited they are to see Aaron Rodgers.
Joe Rogan's coming to the game.
Like, are you guys, are people stupid? He's had a great roster for years. He's been in a great situation for years with no resistance in his division. And now he's moved into one of the toughest divisions in football?
Yeah.
What are we doing here?
To me, what we're doing is betting on the New York Jets.
Really?
I really like the situation for them. One, Ryan, you've been pounding the table explaining how Josh Allen isn't the same without Brian Daboll. And as much as I hate giving you credit on the show, it certainly has looked that way. And Josh Allen, in the same way that the Cleveland Browns have had Joe Burrow's number, to a certain degree, the Jets have kind of owned Josh Allen and Josh Allen's 9 games against the Jets, 9 touchdowns, only 8 interceptions. You have Sauce Gardner entering year 2. You have Josh Allen, who is looking to force the ball, who's dating a celebrity, like kind of has his head not really in the right place. And Josh Allen also sacked the most out of all the teams in his careers, courtesy of the Jets. To me, everyone's going to talk about Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers. To me, the guys who are going to get it done is that Jets defense. I think the Jets defense really locks up the Bills offense. Again, hashtag not a totals guy, but I think the under 46.5 looks pretty good here. I think it's going to be a low-scoring, ugly game with the Jets eking out a victory here.
I don't know. As much as I agree with the Brian Daboll take.
No Von Miller, I think he's huge as well.
I agree with you agreeing with my Brian Daboll take. But that the idea that we're just going to go blind on this, I understand you're just saying, well, I'm going to bet the defense. But
yeah, you remember those games last year, right? Like Zach Wilson being.
You're right. You know what? Great teaser opportunity too. I was going to say something nice about the Bills, but I'll run it back.
Okay.
But I don't like the idea of getting Aaron Rodgers in this offensive line. I worry that the floor could be a little bit lower than we think. That being said, Garrett Wilson and him look good. Aaron Rodgers looked beautiful in the 4K, hard knock shots constantly. And, honestly, this is a game where I think the props will be the fun part of this. I think we're going to be able to get some Dawson Knox cheap anytime or first touchdown activity.
So everyone's going to be loading up on Dalton Kincaid?
I think with the Jets, obviously Aaron Rodgers likes to concentrate his targets, but their tight end situation is kind of an interesting one. They're going to be playing a couple, maybe even 3. So opportunities there. I don't love this spot. Maybe it makes it into the teaser, maybe because low scoring game. Although the total doesn't suggest it's going to be all that low scoring.
I do think it is. Again, not a totals guy, Ryan, but
I'm
going under here.
Like anecdotally, the fact that the Giants and Cowboys have the same total seems odd to me. With the Ferraris that the Giants are running around. All right.
Ferrari.
That sounds beautiful. Be careful, there might be some actual Italians outside. What's going on, Sean?
Brian, I'm looking up a sound thing. I thought you could be a professional and vamp instead of just going, "What's going on?"
Well, because you're sitting over there looking concerned, so I was just checking. Yeah, look, I think coming into this, I'm looking at my dog favorite split right now. And I did a good job, Sean. I think I'm split exactly 8-8 dogs and favorites. So
really,
not sure how you ended up. Let me see. I'll do a quick count. What happened? You lost the Lock Dog Tease sound drop?
I didn't lose it, Ryan, but I don't have it. I don't have it loaded up because I've just been using the other. Again,
all right, so you have
was hoping for you to vamp instead of draw more attention to me looking up something.
6 favorites. And
great radio.
6 favorites and 10 dogs, Sean, for you.
Oh, wow. I'm dog heavy.
You're very dog heavy. 6. Actually, I'm 7 and 9. So not bad. And I'd say this. We did this show basically in May, Sean.
Yes.
We only switched on a couple things. We only changed our picks on a couple things. The Jets being one of them, so hopefully we don't look like idiots there.
All right, Ryan, time for the Lock Dog and Tease, and I'm going to need you to give us the tease sound effect.
Okay.
So,
I have to do it live. I
yes,
see what you're saying.
You're doing it live.
Got it.
Getting a new sound drop. So here we go. Lock Dog and Tease. You're not gonna.
No, I'm not gonna do the happy birthday.
Okay.
That was a once in a lifetime.
All right.
All right. You want to go first or should I?
You go first.
Are you sure? That might not have been how we ended last season, but I'm happy to go first. For my first lock, is the Steelers 2 lock? Are you gonna lock that up?
You want me to go first?
Yes.
Okay. For my first lock,
I don't want to take your lock.
give me Pittsburgh plus 2.5. Love the Steelers team. Love fading Brock Purdy as a road favorite. What more do we need to say? For my other lock, give me the Tennessee Titans plus 3. They get it done. Dennis Allen and Derek Carr suck. So all in on the Titans. For my dog, interesting week for dogs here because I was on Arizona plus 7. Here's what I'm looking at for the dogs, Ryan. Bucks, I think, are a live dog. You know what? I'm going. I want to give out. I want to give out the Jets, but that's just too soft of a dog. I'm going to go with the Los Angeles Rams, shocking the world. Gino's about to write back this weekend, so give me the Rams on the money line for my tease. Very, very fun teasing opportunities. I'll start with the Cleveland Browns, up to 8.5. That's just textbook teasing. New York Jets, up to 8.5 as well. And then for the final leg of the tease, the Packers, up to 7. Kramer, how say you?
Nice work.
Thank you.
Lock number 1. Actually, I'll go backwards. Tease. Steelers up to 8.5.
Okay.
Browns up to 8.5. Commanders down to 1.
Pittsburgh 8.5.
Just basic teaser logic here.
So yeah, Pittsburgh, Washington, then Cleveland up to 8.5.
Yep.
You know what? I'm going to swap out Cleveland for Washington minus 1. I like that better.
Free square.
Yep.
We don't want to call it a free square, but it's a free square. For my dog, give me Tennessee on the money line.
Okay.
Feels like the appropriate way to play that one. For my locks,
let's go.
I'm 2 flowchart plays. Give me the Los Angeles Rams plus 5.5. Give me the Jacksonville Jaguars minus 5.
Oh, okay. I don't like that one as much, but
what do you mean?
I like your Rams. I
All right, you know what?
You're
right. You're right. God hates Jags. Give me the Atlanta Falcons. What am I doing? Been leaning that way all year.
Your team.
Yeah.
All right. Atlanta minus 3.5. Any sort of D-gen play you want to give out? I'm sure we will be giving out some crazy same game parlays on our prop show, but you know what? I had a premonition. Pittsburgh, Tennessee, Rams, money line round robin is the move for me.
I'm in.
All right.
You don't want to put Cleveland in there?
No. Nope.
All right.
3-team round robin money line parlay.
What do you think that pay? Let's see. I'll do some quick math.
Yeah, do the math over there. And then we're also, Ryan, Circa Survivor and the Circa Millions plays, which we will be giving out. Shout out to the chat. Chat has been amazing. I'm trouble keeping up. It's been lit. DeJuice saying, I want to kiss you, Susie, which is a great callback to
yes.
Broadway Joe himself, all-time New York Jet.
All right, so what do you want to do for the Survivor?
I think Baltimore.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Don't
let's get them
overthink
out of the way. Yeah. Even though you're on Houston plus 10, Ryan, are we locking in the Ravens?
Yeah.
All right. Not going to get too crazy there. For the Circa Millions, I'm just going to start off and write in all the consensus of Pittsburgh plus 2.5,
Yeah.
Rams plus 5.5, Tennessee plus 3, and then we got 2 more here. What else? Who else do we like? I think. I mean, for me.
What do you mean 2 more?
Those are 3 games.
Atlanta.
Oh, okay.
The fuck out of here. Are you trying to keep Atlanta off the board?
I was just trying to go with some consensus stuff.
What do you mean? You're on that as well.
Yeah, I just don't. I don't love Atlanta.
Oh, you liked your locks more than my locks?
Yeah.
You just don't like my locks.
I like some of your locks.
So you're just.
I like the Rams.
What
lock.
happened to the strategy of taking the lock? You know what? I might take that Rams lock off with this attitude.
Who else do we want to put in here? Green Bay plus 1.
Why don't you just pick something you like, since that's all
Jets
you can
plus
tolerate.
2.5. Giants plus 3.5.
Oh, I don't think we play the Giants.
Chargers minus 3. We don't have any favorites.
Chargers.
Feels like we need one favorite. Or do we go nuts and put KC in there? Shock the world.
No, Chargers.
Chargers. All right, so our Circa Millions play, Steelers plus 2.5, Rams plus 5.5, Tennessee plus 3, Atlanta minus 3.5, and the Chargers
I'm good
plus
with that.
3. Yep, Kramer and I, my locks, Steelers, Titans, Rams on the money line, Washington, Jets, Packers, tees. Kramer, what do you got?
Yeah, I mean, basically, we had a little bit of overlap here. Rams, you have them on the money line. I got them locked up at plus 5.5. Titans on the money line is my dog. Atlanta minus the 3.5. Who cares? This is going to be a blowout. Then we had the obvious teaser spots. We left off the Jets, but we have Cleveland plus 8.5, Pittsburgh plus 8.5, Washington minus 1. And Sean, do you want the payout?
Yes.
For that
the
round
robin money line parlay.
I'll give you the 3-team version of it's going to pay about 15-1.
What do you mean 3-team?
What do you mean? There's 3 teams, and I'm giving you like the 3-team payout. I'm not going to calculate all the 2-teamers too.
Oh, okay.
The 3-team parlay of those 3 money lines,
yes,
it pays out 15-1.
Okay, but if you did them round robin, then you would hit all the 3-team,
Sure,
the 3 2-teamers and the 1
Sure.
4-teamer. And that would be awesome.
4-teamer.
Oh, sorry, the 3 2-team. Well, it's 4 legs.
Yes.
So if you hit all 4, that's where you really get paid.
Sure.
Okay.
It's 15-1. I mean, let's see. The biggest of the 2 legs will be 7-1. So you're already at 22-1 right there.
It's going to be awesome.
Well, not really, because you got to divide by 4 for the investment. See, you're getting complicated here, Sean.
No, you can do over on DraftKings. You can put in the round robin, and they will tell you the price.
Oh, okay. So I'm using my head in a calculator.
Well, there's easier ways. DraftKings Sportsbook, promo code SGP, Ryan. They can help you out. They do the calculating for you over there at
All
DraftKings.
right, I got it. It's roughly 30-1.
That's the number I want to hear. Roughly 30-1.
Right. Might be 30-1, 31-1.
All right, man. What a week of shows. Make sure you check out our college football picks. Week 2 podcast. We got more. We got 2 more episodes. Thursday night props and DJ's Guide to Vegas. And then a bonus week 1 NFL props episode. And then, of course, Friday night, VSiN, 9 o'clock. Check us out, YouTube TV, VSiN.com. You can listen for free. And get in on the free roll football contest. Up to $3,000 up for grabs. SportsGamblingPodcast.com/contest.
Thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
For the Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, second the morning green. He's Ryan.
That felt like a 4-1.
Kramer. Let it ride.